Live from the studio of his parents' basement, the Have You Seen It podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Have You Seen It podcast. My name is Mason Knight. Sitting across from me is the one and only Cash Krause. Cash, what are we reviewing today?
Today, we are reviewing a brand, almost spanking new movie.
We are.
A week.
It's a week.
It's a week. There's a week buffer in between that. It's going to happen. Candyman 2021.
Yep.
Written by Jordan Peele himself, the master of horror, Jordan Peele. Directed by Nia DaCosta,
who also co-wrote this.
Yes. Along with Win Rosenfield. We got to give him her a shout out. Him or her. Of course.
Win.
Win, how are you doing?
It is a he.
Okay,
he is a he.
But Nia DaCosta is a female, and do you know what she is now well known for besides Candyman? You could probably guess, man.
Black Panther?
Close.
Okay.
She will be the youngest director of a Marvel film. She is doing The Marvels. So she is 31 years of age. She beat out Ryan Coogler, who did direct. But now she is the youngest, Nia DaCosta.
Wow.
Yeah. So
damn,
she's about to be very, very wealthy.
Oh, no, she's 31. I thought you said she was 27. I'm like, damn, she's 27 and she directed a Marvel film?
No, she was 31, but she probably was 27 when she directed her first
film,
which was Tiny Trees, a thriller or something. But, she's doing all right for herself. She's doing pretty good. You know, parents probably pretty happy. Young 30s kind of directing a Marvel film. You're probably pretty impressed by that. Candyman 2021. It stars Black Manta himself, Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Great actor.
The second. Let's not forget that. There was one before.
There was.
And he is, he kind of half is, half isn't our titular Candyman.
Yeah, kind of is, kind of isn't. Maybe the prodigy or the prophecy,
the up and coming
yes.
Candyman, if you will. He's taking the reins or taking the hook.
The hook. You're not getting off the hook for that one.
No, absolutely not. Unfortunately, his hand is removed quite violently.
Yeah.
No laughing matter for sure.
No, definitely not. More of a screaming matter.
Yeah, but this film is coming. It's coming 29 years after the original. There's been tossed around a sequel that they've been wanting to do forever. They did do 2 sequels that came straight to DVD. No one talks about those. I believe it got the Halloween treatment where those films did not happen.
No,
the second and third one.
No, they were canceled. Not canon. Yeah. That's what Star Wars did a lot of their stuff. Yeah. So you don't like something, it's just not canon anymore.
It makes sense to me. Why not? Why the hell not? You gotta get the story right. So only the first one, and this one is definitely directly connected to that original.
Yes, unquestionably,
for sure. Yeah. Although you don't know why, you get little hints, little pieces sprinkled out throughout, but it does. I think this one does a very good job of just diving deeper and deeper into the Candyman mythology and what it means to be a Candyman. Because there is multiple, it turns out.
Turns out over the years, over the decades, there are a lot of Candymans.
It turns out there has to be a Candyman almost.
Yeah.
There has to be one that keeps the legend going. Because people need to be kept in check with urban legends.
They have to be. That's how you keep the people in line.
Absolutely, because there's a few people in this movie that get a little too big for their britches.
They do.
And every once in a while, you got to remember where you're at, baby.
You got to humble them.
This is still Cabrini Green.
It is.
No matter how you fucking gentrify it when it comes down.
No matter how you shake it out.
Candyman Land is what they call it, not Candyland.
Candyland's a great board game, but Candyman
could not get the trademark, unfortunately, to be used in the films. But Candyman Land is Cabrini Green. And
not as fun.
He runs Cabrini Green.
Yeah,
he has a lock on those people. But it's a sequel I was definitely looking forward to, and I thought it paid off as far as sequels go for horror films.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed it, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. Of course, you rarely do.
That was the thing for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I actually thought it was a really good film, and I'm glad they made it.
The writing is very smart, especially for a sequel.
Yes,
it's well done.
Very smart. And that's something I appreciated is they took their time with that and they laid it out and they gave you little sprinkles of information throughout the film, and then obviously the big reveal at the end, which I did see coming, but I still appreciated it.
Yeah, if I had not watched, I should have watched the sequel. I've seen the original multiple times, but I should have done a viewing right before I went. So
I did.
I know that's very smart of you to do, because that way, because once I rewatched the original, even after seeing the sequel, I started connecting things. Oh, she did that in the original, and now that makes more sense. Yeah. So I would definitely recommend seeing the first one because the first one's so good.
It is.
But the second one, it's missing one component. I gotta say. It's got to be Tony Todd.
It's got to be Tony Todd.
It's missing the Tony Todd element.
We did get a little cameo at the end.
Yeah, a CGI
version of him.
Yeah, obviously, because he has aged 29 years.
Yes, he has. And he's definitely aged
and it would be
29 years.
It would be very odd. Yeah, he's one guy that, I mean, obviously, he's in his 70s, I think, at this point. But it wouldn't make much sense if Candyman, an urban legend, is aging. It would make him a lot less scary if this guy was walking around with a walker or a cane.
Getting older.
Yeah. But it does introduce two new Candyman, really. Mm-hmm. And it goes into a very similar thing. Although the stories are different enough for it to be, it's not like it's another university student. No. Like investigating Helen or something like that. It's a completely different story. But it has the same, I would say, story pacing beats. And time and story beats of the original that I really liked. I really enjoy that when they do a different enough, but a familiar where you're like, okay, I get where it's going.
There's a familiarity there.
Exactly, and I really enjoy that. But it is a different story for sure, and it lets our main antagonist, Yahya Abdul-Mateen,
Anthony McCoy.
Yeah, they let him go on his own for sure, and it's got new thrills, new scares, a little more body horror in this one
for sure.
His arm, we'll get into, but his arm slowly begins to rot away.
It does,
which is brutal.
Man, the whole time I was watching this film was at some point, when do you go to the doctor? When do you go get that?
He does, but he does too late.
Yeah, much too late. Like, but you got in when you did. You came in right away.
The whole
so you're like, no, he did not. He waited.
Obviously,
a long time.
He didn't come.
I know.
Half his body is rotting away at this point. He did not come in at the right time. But I was thinking the whole thing like. He obviously had bigger things on his mind at the point, but for no one to say like, "Hey, what's with this?
Yeah,
what's with that?
What's with all the holing and decaying on your body?
Why are you rotting? Why are you rotting in front of me?" But he does a very good job in this. Yahya Abdul-Mateen for sure. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah, no, he definitely is.
We've seen him. We've reviewed a ton of things that he is in, but of course he's Black Manta. He's also Bobby Seale in Chicago 5, the trial of Chicago 5. Yeah, he's been great. And he's jacked in this to the point to where they have to do a one line of why are you so buff? The brother says something like, you got to start working instead of working out all this time. Because you got to give a reason. He's Black Manta big.
Right.
It's not normal big.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So I'm glad they did a throwaway line of like, this guy hasn't been working in a while, so he just works out a lot because no artist is like that. No artist is that big.
Do you know he's in the Matrix Resurrections coming out soon?
God.
Yeah.
Which sucks because he'll be someone part of the crew or whatever, obviously. But I'd love to see him as a bad guy. But we know the guy from Mindhunter is supposed to be the new Agent Smith.
Yes.
He's going to be perfect as that because he plays a perfect agent.
Yeah.
And he can sing, remember?
They say the price of my love's not a price that you're willing to pay.
So that guy, fucking multi-talented.
Really talented guy. Really talented. And stole the show in Hamilton, might I say.
He did do a really good job. But I did not know that. I feel like every time I look up a movie trivia, I see someone else that's in the Matrix at this point.
It's got to be loaded. No pun intended.
Hopefully it's not Matrix Reloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed how they unfolded the story, and I liked how at this point in the story, it's like Candyman is a legend that has died out. Not a lot of people know his name at this point, and that doesn't sit well with Candyman.
No.
He works in a space that people got to know. People got to be talking about him. Yeah. He's got to be the center of attention all the time.
Well, and he kind of feeds off that, too.
Exactly. He says it in the first one, my congregation must grow. He goes, that is how I live. It's through, and a literal congregation in this point, in this one, they're in a church. They're in the full thing. It becomes biblical at this point for sure. Yeah. But yeah, at this point, not a lot of people know about Candyman. So they got to revamp.
Well, and that's what Anthony's doing with his new art piece. He says he's never felt as connected as to what he was doing then.
Which is why, because he's around, he's from the area and whatnot. And but you've seen how, like, once they killed off Candyman in the first one, his legend actually really died. You know, it people stopped talking about it. There was something that Helen did in the first one where she killed him the way they killed him. You got to burn his body in a big fucking fire. Doesn't work for everyone. Doesn't work for Michael Myers.
No. You can burn that fucker so many times.
But you throw him in a volcano.
He'll still walk out.
He's crawling out of the volcano, and he's just going to be so much more mad.
Yeah,
he's madder.
Really upset.
He's upset now.
Throw you up against a few walls and stab you 30 times.
But yeah, so in this one, Candyman is the only Candyman that they really know about. Cabrini Green is a real, actual, physical Candyman.
Yes.
And that's, again, is how, like, these legends are born. They're born through a real person. And it was a man who gave candy. He did nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong. He was, he appeared to be...
Maybe slower in some capacity, of course. Yeah, I mean, obviously a man who doesn't have a job giving away candy is not...
And he's hiding within the walls of this building.
That was good, man.
That was creepy.
This is the thing about you feel Jordan Peele...
Oh, for sure.
It feels like an Us. It feels like a Get Out. Even though it still has that feeling of the first one, you can... Jordan Peele, he's becoming that kind of creator, like a Wes Anderson. You just know his films.
His work.
Exactly. And that's a powerful thing.
Oh, it is.
For sure, to be able to do that. But it feels... But that was so creepy to me, that they were looking for this guy because someone was murdered. A kid was murdered. And they immediately chalked it up. You know, again, police in this area.
Not good.
Not doing good work. No. And this is the 70s, by the way, when this is happening.
And it's Chicago. Yeah.
And it's Cabrini Green. Yeah. It's the worst part of Chicago. But, so there was an actual Candyman. They were searching for this guy because someone else murdered a kid.
Right.
And he was hiding. He was hiding within the walls. Fucking creepy as hell.
Super creepy. Yeah.
And he says that he scars this one kid for fun. I'd be in a coma.
Yo, dude, he threw out the candy and it was just sitting in the hole.
And the kid already, who ends up playing a larger role in the entire film, comes back in a great way. Something that is, I immediately knew there had to be more with that kid. I mean, that kid just doesn't walk away from that.
No.
But yeah, him tossing the candy out, and he does have, quote unquote, a hook, but it's like a disabled man's hook. Yeah. I mean, it's not a giant hook, but you see how these legends become bigger than what they really are. You know, one person says he had a hook for a hand, then another person says...
Why was that people used to use hooks as hands? I mean, what?
That was the best prosthetic.
Really?
Yeah. Because a lot of times those hooks, he has the hook where you can close it.
Oh, the double hook. Yeah.
You can close it, yeah. It's never a giant hook.
No.
Not since 1850, probably.
Yeah, no. Those wouldn't be very handy.
But yeah, that's a lot of veterans.
Right.
And especially like 70s through 80s, you could see it, like that was the... I think people still use those. Those are still... Like, I mean, they're moving away. Now they got the electric prosthetics that are looking fucking pretty cool. A lot less scary in my mind for sure. But yeah, that is how his legend becomes born, though, and that's how a new Candyman is introduced, because there has to be a new Candyman, and he scars this kid for life.
He does.
Real quick. Yeah. And the kid screams.
Which sends all the police. So apparently the police only do police work when they hear a kid screaming.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they storm that thing and they beat the hell out of him, and they kill him right there.
black guy on the loose. Fucking get the scramble the jets.
Yes.
We are gonna, and there's an excuse to murder this man. And they do. Very brutally.
They do. They all 20 of them beat the living hell out of him.
So bad they can't
recognize
the man.
Yeah.
He's being so bad. Yeah. And that's how you become a vengeful ghost.
Yeah. That one scene was so fucking creepy in this movie. The shower curtain scene.
Oh,
when the boy's like trying to get in with his siblings, and then Candyman's just sitting there and he's...
Oh my God! They use the mirrors even better in
They
use the mirrors even better in this one than they do the original.
For sure.
The mirrors in this one, and this one they do a really good job of like you could barely see Candyman in some scenes.
Yep.
If you blinked, you'd miss him. Yeah. It's very small shit like that, like almost Hereditary-esque, where it's like,
well, and too,
you got to be looking for him to see him.
And the murders are off camera, or the murders are shown in a way that is not showing Candyman. So like the blood under the stalls.
I like that too. Something that
they
just couldn't do in 92. Mm-hmm. I mean, probably because the special effects would be, but especially at one point with the guy getting choked to death. And like you said, you can't see Candyman, but you could see the purple handprint of him, real strong grip of choking. That was a great, that was our first great couple of deaths too.
My favorite kill though.
Ooh,
unquestionably my favorite kill. It was so cool. So, obviously Anthony shows up to the critic's house, yada, yada, yada. Fucking creepy. Because Candyman just pops out just a little bit and then moves back in, and then he sees him again and he goes,
and it's the 70s Candyman. Yeah. This guy who, new outfit, great costumes in this one. He's wearing like a fur coat or something in this one. Yep. And they end up getting the fur coat later on. It's it's nasty. It's gross. Yeah, it's gross, but yeah.
But that was an awesome death, because he runs out and then the critic is running behind him, and then then you see it from the outside.
The zoom out, and she's being ragdolled.
Yeah, she is.
She's being ragdolled.
Fucked up.
I love that too. I think this was a much smarter way to go about it in the second one when you don't have Tony Todd. Just use those cool special effects, because then that's even more of like, you can't fight this guy. There's no way to fight this guy.
It's terrifying.
You can't even see him. Exactly, yeah. But I did love that when he was like banging on the door and you just see him in the mirror.
I know, and then he
goes back out, and she's like, "Are you okay?" He's like, I gotta go. But setting himself up to look very bad in all these.
Very bad. Well, like the restaurant, when he hears his friends, his art friends die, he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
He runs out. I'm like, dude, that's not so looking good. Sus.
But it's exactly what he did to Helen in the first one. Is he made her look like she was the one killing all of them, because she had to be the new urban legend, and he had to do, like, Candyman knows he's got to build you up first.
Oh, for sure.
Like, the legend is the whole reason of why you become immortal, is you got to have this great fucking story.
But then Candyman went a little wild, because he started killing kids at school, started killing the kids in the bathroom.
Loved that scene of the kids getting murdered in the
Which one? The shower?
The scene of all the kids
or all the girls in the girls' bathroom.
Girls in the girls' bathroom, to where you can barely see it, and then.
But that's what I was talking about. That blood coming down, like you don't even see that person die. It's just you see it gutted, because that blood was thick,
and the camera work. Oh yeah, there's some residue, there's some muscle in there.
Yeah.
But you barely see it though. That scene, you get the makeup mirror.
Yep.
And then the cool bee from the inside of the mirror, and then he gets another bee pops out or whatever. I love it. And then you just see through that little makeup mirror 5
very unfortunate girls getting slaughtered.
And that's the craziest thing this is one part you kind of got to be like, okay, I'll believe it for now. But it's like, he went to the school. Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character, and they think he did it. They think he went to the school. Not a single camera caught him.
Yeah, no one caught him anywhere.
Bathroom.
No witnesses
Giant
whatsoever.
Hook for hand at this point.
Right.
Not a single fucking. He climbed out a window.
That was my only problem with the school thing. Is I was like, well, how the hell are they gonna? Put that on him?
Yeah, no. He just randomly hopped in a school of. But it again, the cops in this one are exactly like the cops. They don't need much reasoning. No. They just know it's shooting time, baby.
Shoot first. Ask questions.
Actually,
you won't have to ask questions.
No, let the DA deal with that later. Yeah.
Just that pesky paperwork.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's what I like. And another thing is they didn't even care about his artwork until these murders were surrounded by it. They could care less that he was.
That's what the critics said too.
Yeah, they're like, it's been done a million times.
Yeah,
it's been done a million times. You going back and the trauma of someone being, because at this point it's like art critics don't even care about a piece about a man getting about an African man getting murdered by a bunch of white people. Yep. At this point, she says it's been done so many times. It's been done. Yep. It's boring at this point. So he's got to create a legend around it to start selling some pieces. Yep. And he gets way too into it, way too over the top. I would say.
I would say so.
He becomes the character.
Slow as roll,
but beautiful artwork done.
Yeah,
it's well done
for the art that he did do.
Frightening shit.
I would say the faces at the end, a little scary.
When she comes in, when his girlfriend comes in, who plays a big part in this, she's great as well. I can't remember. Let me just look at her name because I don't want to butcher that. Oh, man. Teyana Paris plays Brianna Cartwright, and she is the voice of reason in this. But, man.
She's also in the Marvels coming up.
Who's directed by Nia DaCosta. That's cool. I wonder if Yahya Abdul-Mateen, when he was going to double dip DC Marvel.
No, I don't think so.
He's not projected as it? No. That's too bad. Because, he's in...
he's in the Matrix Resurrections coming up, and then Aquaman, too.
He's in 2 DC films. He plays Black Manta, and he plays Dr. Manhattan in the HBO show of...
Really?
Yeah, he plays...
Oh, the Titans?
No, it's gonna kill me.
What show are you talking about?
It's
Watchmen.
Watchmen, which is amazing. If you haven't
but they only had 1 season of that, unfortunately.
Well, it ends though, and like.
Oh, it does end.
It does. I mean, they could obviously have done a second season, but it ends very nicely. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't watch the first
He's not in it very much, but he plays Dr. Manhattan. Yeah, the most powerful most powerful superhero in the universe.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he's getting that superhero money, man. He doesn't need a Marvel film.
No, he doesn't.
He's good.
He goes, I am A-okay.
He's super good, but super good in this. He becomes possessed at one point. Again, the rotting flesh looks amazing. He is picking at this arm the entire time. It's fucking horrendous. This decaying arm of his. At one point, he tears off the nails, which is tough for me.
God. When then he starts to get all holy.
Yeah, if you have that fear, what is it, tryptophobia or something, where you don't like holes in skin? It
was starting to make me feel a little uncomfortable.
I thought for sure a bee was going to climb out of there or something, man. It looked like,
I don't have a fear of it or anything. It's just unsettling.
That's what it is. Some people like can't even look at it without being disgusted, But, I love the story a lot. He did great. I love how they interlooped it with the kid, spoiler alert, with the kid that got scarred at the start. Mm-hmm. He is like the last one to keep Candyman's
legacy alive. Yeah.
So he becomes very, very important.
Manic, too, I'd say.
He wasn't okay, especially when he went on to open up a laundromat from the part where he got scarred. Yeah. You would never open up that would immediately when you see a pile of clothes, you would have like PTSD flashbacks.
You would. Yeah. You wouldn't want to constantly relive that every day.
Definitely.
But this guy apparently did.
Something not off. It should be a red flag immediately. But yeah, I love the story unfolds. He ends up trying to find more and more about Candyman, and he slowly, this guy, the laundromat guy, slowly unveils a little bit after a while, but he has nefarious plans, for sure.
Yeah.
For some reason, if you're going to make a Candyman, you gotta use the nastiest, rustiest hacksaw you could find.
Look, why get a new hook when you could find an old hook and pay less?
Absolutely. This might be the original hook.
I think it
from
is.
1801 or whatever, because that thing is... And him jamming that hook, it makes zero. I mean, you're going to have to go bone to hook. You got to really jam it in there to make sense.
At least he had a tourniquet this time.
Well, he did in the other one. I mean, he kind of tourniqueted himself, I think, because you can see this. But Doesn't do great, but I thought that was a great unveiling of that guy being kind of the mastermind behind everything. Yeah. Was this crazy?
Just knowing the kid would come back one day.
Yep, and we talk about that too, that he ends up being the child from the first one who is...
The one that Helen saved.
And that was a great scene. I love when they find inventive ways to do a flashback without just doing a flashback. Yes. You know, I liked the puppets a lot.
The puppets were awesome. I really enjoyed those. Yeah.
Super creepy.
And
to find out that it was...
what I was about to say.
And to find out that it was the laundromat guy making the puppets. Yeah. And he's a real puppeteer. Then you find out he's fucking pulling the strings, baby.
He is the puppeteer.
The puppet master, for sure. But yeah, he's. I like that them going back in the church where it all took place and whatnot, in a very creepy, spray painted Gothic church. So it's like it combines like urban with the very old.
And I felt like they did a whole lot in this film in a very short amount of time. I mean, this film was only 91 minutes long, an hour and 31 minutes. And I thought they tied it up really nicely in a nice, neat little bow and answered all the questions that needed to be answered.
Which an hour and hour 30 is the golden time for horror films.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the original Candyman was an hour 32. No horror film needs to go that long. No. I mean, the entire reason these horror films work is because you very rarely do see what's hunting you, what's killing you. So that's, and then any longer, another half hour, you start to see it more and more, and then it becomes less and less scary. Yeah, for sure. But there is connections and callbacks to the first one. His girlfriend ends up conjuring up Candyman. After, it's very brutal. That scene of him dying is very brutal when the cops come in and just fucking
shoot him, plug him 3 times.
He was on the ground,
defenseless,
in a bad state.
Yeah, well,
bad state. He was
he's had a rough week.
Half possessed, half there still. A rough time, but he needed to die to become the legend.
Yep.
And of course, the cops had to do it. And he becomes a legend, and I love that you do the floating a lot more in this film. It's very fucking freaky.
When he starts killing all the cops.
Especially when you can only see his little legs floating in some scenes. And it's like him.
When it's like under the car, so you can only see the
or
legs.
I feel like in the bathroom they did of him under the stalls of him just floating on. Yeah, it's fucking freaky. And it's cool. It's not a floating of him just like flat-footed. It's like him like hanging on something. Very cool, but great ending of killing the cops, of her conjuring up in the window, and brutal death, and one almost getting away. Yeah.
I love the very ending too, where we get to see Todd.
I know.
For a split second.
Yeah. You get to see all of them, I feel like, at the very end. All the because there's been multiple Candymans, and you get to see all of them at the end, and it's not who dons the hook. It's just that the hook is donned. Yep. It needs to be carried on by someone. It doesn't matter who it is. People got a hook. People got to be killed. There's got to be urban legends, you know?
Yep.
Has to happen.
Can't let it die.
Yeah. Unfortunate for the girlfriend. She goes through a lot in this. She's the first one to discover a brutal double murder. Mm-hmm. She immediately thinks it's her boyfriend.
She does.
Who is acting a fool.
Acting very strange.
That scene when he goes, I know we're getting right at the end, but that scene when he goes and finds his mom.
Yeah.
That felt very Jordan Peele to me.
Yes. And that was played by the same actress, Vanessa Williams.
Yeah. Who has not aged.
Wow. Still looks fantastic. But yeah, no, that was the mom. That was the same mom from the original. So I like how they kept her.
I like that too. And it's a very good scene when he says Candyman. She immediately
don't you say
that down.
Yeah, now.
I will kill you if you say that again. But the whole scene of him finding out where he came from and how he was always meant to be Candyman. He couldn't run from it.
Nope.
He could not run from it. Candyman always gets his man.
He does.
But yeah, we get the little Tony Todd cameo, and it has to be enough, unfortunately. Yeah. But he is, even though it's purely CGI, I'm guessing they face scanned him or something like that, because he is, he's credited in this as Candyman. So
I think when you use someone's likeness, you kind of have to.
You got to, yeah. Which is good. I mean, you don't want to start
Absolutely.
doing all
He deserves
CG.
to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
You're going to make a remake.
I feel like
use my
Candyman
face.
only again, I can't stress enough. He is great in the original, and I feel like it only became what it became because of it. And it's by far his most famous film, for sure. People see him and they think Candyman. But yeah, I thought it was a great sequel. We've been getting some great horror film sequels with this and Halloween.
Halloween Kills, cannot wait for that.
Yeah, so I can't wait. But this was worth it. They delayed this film for a long time.
Yes, they did.
Delayed it, and we finally got it. And I would say worth the wait, people.
Yeah, definitely worth the wait. I enjoyed this one. Obviously I love the original, and seeing it for the first time, I absolutely fell in love with it. I was very impressed with that, especially early 90s, seeing that before I even saw this one. But, this one does a really good job of tying the story in, giving you more, in making it short, sweet, and to the point. And I thought they did a good job with it.
And at this point, it is becoming like an urban legend in its own right. So maybe we'll get another one every 29 years. And then at some point, we'll get an actual Candyman killing, and we'll have to deal with it.
As good.
We'll have to cross that bridge once we get to it, of course. So I don't need another sequel immediately. I feel like this one is perfectly done. So give us a time, then wait for another one to come around.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty. Well, that is our review for Candyman 2021. If you guys like what you've seen here, please be sure to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification as we drop videos here every single day. Thank you so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Cash Krause. Until next time.
Bye.